Welcome back to Delta Green on Myth Machine. We have another night on Owlshead Mountain. Potentially. I don't know if they're going to stay on Owlshead Mountain. We don't know anything about that. All we know is that this show is rated R for all sorts of trauma, including psychological horror, physical horror, body horror, and all the cosmic horrors. The whole menu, basically, because this is Delta Green, a game about the end of everything, particularly your character's sanity and bodily health. And with us this time we have Z-Cell.
Hi,
That's a
I'm
cute
Briar.
thing too. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Briar, and I play Dr. Alex Blair.
I'm Coach, and I'm playing the Butcher, Agent Adrian Fallas.
Is he known as the Butcher now?
He is after what just happened.
Yeah.
I'm Harper. I'm playing Sarah Gwen. That's her name.
Yeah.
Look, I almost said Dresden. Give me a break. And I guess I'm the arsonist again?
Yes. This time it's more motivated in a different way because, lo and behold, you have chemistry. So, yeah.
Yeah.
That's for you then, Cal.
Oh, I'm Cal, and I'll be playing Jacqueline Morgan.
And unfortunately, Corvus is not joining us this time. No doubt because it's the season, as it were. The season when it's hard to get a full group together. But that's okay.
Yeah.
So, last time, everything got messy, didn't it? Just a little bit?
Yeah.
We picked up in the Vermont woods after hearing a gunshot, and Blair, Tristan, and Gwen waited anxiously with their guide old Tom, and Adrian Fallas came out from the trees alone, silently beckoning everybody to follow, and there was Agent Morgan standing over the corpse of a wild-looking, very naked, very dirty man with a gaping gunshot wound in his chest. Fallas explained he had acted in self-defense after the man attacked Morgan with a hatchet. Dr. Blair tended to a nasty bruise that Fallas received in the struggle, and the team began examining the body. The man was caked in years of grime, but didn't have any body odor. His skin was unnaturally tough, and Blair discovered two strange divots on his forehead consistent with an old-school lobotomy. The situation grew even stranger when Thomas recognized the man as Cooter McGee, a local who had vanished in the 50s and who should have been far older than the something 35 maybe, years he looked like. It's hard to tell how old someone is when they're that level of dirty, but he didn't look like he was 85 or 95, which is what he should have been. Thomas recounted seeing this madman years ago speaking with the winged ones near the stone circle on Owlshead Mountain. Realizing that they had now found concrete evidence of unnatural phenomena, the team decided they couldn't leave the body behind, so a makeshift stretcher was made and you all began the arduous journey back down the mountain. As you prepared to load the body in the van, Fallas noticed the fatal wound on the corpse was beginning to close. And in a panic, he shot the body again, this time in the head, determined to prevent it from reanimating. The group then drove to the outskirts of town to find a more permanent solution. We've done a quick shopping trip for accelerants. Gwen created a chemical fire to destroy the body. The corpse screamed in agony for several minutes as it burned, and even after the fire died down, leaving a charred husk, you fear it has not been enough. You've dismembered the remains and opened the skull to find the... It was gory. It was several sanity checks. And after a tense radio conversation with Agent Irene, decided that your best course of action was to find a way to encase the pieces in cement to neutralize the threat for good. Agent Irene promised to consult with ACEL on how to proceed with this disturbing new development, and that is where we are. It is 8:30 p.m. That's 130 hours for those of you who use European measurements of time. It's Sunday the 7th of June. It is 1998. And we're standing in front of around a corpse that has burned severely. So now what?
All right. Was someone planning on going with Irene, or are we just going to drive around to try and find the construction site for the barrel and cement?
The men might be the most effective thing here.
There are more of those things out there.
Let's hope not.
Many more people went missing rather than this one.
Yeah.
They likely have turned or may come back as like this man. And once they might, and if they're in one group and they find out this man was taken out by us, we might be targeted. We should be prepared.
Copy that. I don't think 2 to 5 naked people with hatchets and knives are going to be running into the town at night after us. But if we stay on the mountain, that might be a concern. But aside from I don't know. It's hard to say how many of those missing people, maybe beyond the surveyors, are really involved when we know whatever's going on the other mountain over there is going on. That was just a corpse.
I just made him a bit crispy here. That was the best I could
Okay.
do.
I like that.
It really should be a crispy skull at this point, but
That's considerably worse. Thank you.
you're very welcome.
Hey,
For a
coach, I think I
minute.
found your new. I think I found your new profile pic.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Is that the thing from Fantastic Four?
No, it's not.
Kind of looks like him.
No, just a
Okay,
crispy,
a few meals.
crispy body. I just felt that the picture was the whole matted hair and big beard and everything was just absolutely wrong. So there we go. Crispy
Yeah.
body.
Also, yeah. Are is, could these creatures attack innocent people in retribution, do you think? Or just so long as we get the hell out of here, we'll be fine?
Realistically, I doubt there's some sort of psychic hive mind connecting everybody. If he wasn't able to report back, they may not even know it's necessarily us involved unless we keep running around the mountain. Now that I am saying this out loud, old Thomas might have an issue up there.
Well, Thomas might be in danger.
Yeah,
He was
that
there.
is a possibility. And he's just in proximity. So if they're just raging at the death and disappearance of one of their friends, then he might catch a stray. But I mean, like I said, how much more information do we need to get before ACEL gives us the go ahead to call a real team then?
I don't know. I think an undying corpse might be enough evidence.
That's what I'm thinking. And be like, hey, this is
Yeah.
Cooter McGee. We know that he's been missing for approximately 70 years. Not quite sure as to why, but this is the symptom. Still looking for the cause.
Sorry, I forgot his name
He
was
was shot
Cooter
in the
McGee.
chest.
And I thought
And he
you were
came back.
making up a pseudonym. Sorry. I completely forgot. Yeah. It can't hurt to call them. We don't have a limited number of calls here. And none of us can call anybody else who knows anything about this, right? None of us have the contact info for a corpse killer, right?
Yeah, not, I don't know anybody.
Neither do
Pretty sure
I.
you are the corpse killer, bud.
Short of wood chipper into a vat of acid, it's. I
You
think
could start a
the.
zombie movie.
Yeah, fair point.
Yeah.
Cement barrel might be the way to go, just for containment reasons. And then also, best case scenario, if we need to come back and get samples at a later time, we know where to dig.
Yeah. Yeah.
True.
Fair.
So
I think there's going to be another call on your walkies from Agent Irene. Z-Cell? Z-Cell? This is Irene, over.
This is Cecil.
gotta say,
Over.
Where are you presently located? I feel like for a full assessment and when I'm reporting to Alphonse, I should probably see the thing you've encountered. Just to confirm.
Does anybody have like coordinates or something?
You don't really, do you? You're somewhere in the woods.
we would have known how we got here from the hardware store. So at the very
Yes.
least, we tell her like, hey, it's the second turn off on the logging road
Etc.
past Owlshead entrance or whatever.
Yeah, there are no GPS coordinates in 1998, I don't think.
Yeah.
But you can, using your Morrigan's survival skills, you can give a rough approximation of where you are and link up that way. It's going to take a little moment, but
It's very convenient that I'm so good at woods, even though it hasn't been really displayed, has it?
it's being displayed right now.
I know exactly where we are.
Good. All right, you're going to have a few minutes before she turns up, so if there's anything else you want to do while waiting.
I'm gonna go ahead and just pick a spot and start digging a hole.
All right.
Oh, actually, could I call my boss to see if he's ever dealt with something that could make something not die?
I guess you can, yeah.
I'm gonna try to call Dr. Grant then.
you
have
know
the
what
frat
to
phone.
do. Which is, of course, to roll a luck
Whoa.
check.
Ah,
Oh Lord.
not the 77.
No.
77 a bad
77
bad
is
luck
exactly
number?
what we want.
Yeah, 77 killed Talbot.
It did.
Hey,
Suddenly, the ground opens up underneath Gwen, and she
Oh,
just
no.
disappears, and she's never seen again. This is not what happens.
oh wait.
But
Fallas is already digging a grave.
exactly.
You fall into the hole and break your neck.
Yeah. Gotta dig a new one.
Yeah, that's not what happens at all.
Meatballs
No,
aren't-
it's gonna go, which might not be entirely surprising. On Sunday, it goes to an answering machine because he is not at the office, and I don't think you have his home number. Or if you do have his home number, he is not at home either. Maybe he's out on a date, or maybe he's out just having fun, or something.
What do you mean he's not in the lab?
I know, he's a weirdo who has like a life outside the lab.
I know, like,
How dare he?
what? It's not like a
that's
how
right.
dare he, it's a just I didn't know he could do that, frankly. Didn't know he had it in him.
Maybe I should call the frat phone.
What phone?
Oh.
Can we keep an eye on the tree line while we're making our calls and I'm digging a hole,
Oh,
by the way?
absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are what?
I'm gonna call that one guy.
I've known
You're working on things here, slowly but surely. Even as the clock proceeds, it's soon gonna get dark here in the woods, which is exactly why you want to stay here for a long time. When Agent Irene will in fact catch up with you. She is walking cautiously through the woods, and while she is getting closer, she's been in contact with you all along. She's been phoning in, and she's been, I'm now in the car. I have now taken this turn. I am now so and so far away from, oh, I found your vehicle, etc., etc., etc. So you can basically follow her all along.
She doesn't sound like she's distressed, right? Because she did supposedly just meet with the deputy.
About that. Does she sound like she's distressed? I might have to roll a sanity check for her. Who knows?
Oh no.
Maybe just a little bit. She does sound like she's distressed. There will be moments when she's breathing very heavily, even though maybe she shouldn't be breathing very heavily. Certainly not from the exertion, but yeah, she's... And you can hear her swearing every once in a while. There will be a... God damn it. Fuck! Ah! Damn, stones. But eventually she will make it to you, pale as she might be. She's panting very audibly when she catches up with all of you. Alright, what do we got? She says, even as she's looking. She has a headlamp and it's just strong, so when she's looking towards you, everybody gets a bit blinded. And she's, oh, sorry. And she pokes the headlamp down a little bit so it's not right in your faces. So what do we got? She says.
I self-defense to this guy a couple times, and they're not. And then we try to do a little more, but yeah.
She has to watch this thing. Like, the pieces of body that you have in front of her. And, yeah, that's gonna have an effect.
Oh no.
She'll,
It died when you killed it, so we had to kill it again.
She never seen mate before? Come on.
has, but it's usually a deer, not a person. Yeah, that's a horribly mutilated corpse, all right.
Yeah, I hated it too.
She's just hyperventilating right now. Breathe.
But yeah, first, I shot him. Wait, I'll wait for her to chill out.
Oh, she just sits down. She just like back towards one of the trees, and then she moves away from the tree and sits right in the middle of the path and just no trees, no branches. And she has a cold sweat on her forehead.
Whoever is in closest line of sight, I give them bombastic side eye.
That's just mean.
Why are you giving someone a bombastic side eye about someone with a very justifiable fear of trees?
No trees, no branches. There's tons of trees and tons of branches. I see several.
No, and it's perfectly valid to be scared of them. They'll just crush you for no reason.
True.
Keeping it together, Irene.
Yeah, sorry. I just need to breathe. This is actually good news. So she's pointing to the body pieces, like the skull, I don't know how you've divided the body pieces. Arms. Is there like a torso, a head, and 4 limbs?
I would have gone so far as to like major, so I'd cut at the elbows, wrists, shoulders.
Okay, so it's a very thorough dismemberment process, let's say.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's okay, so this is all you're doing then, she says, and points to the
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it keeps like regenerating, coming back. Like at first we shot him pretty significantly in the chest with a shotgun. Guy was really fast, really strong. Weird stuff like a thick skin, no body odor.
Sorry, I just had some flashbacks. I'm sorry. When we were 3 years ago, when we were in Glastonbury, some of the expedition members ended up in a similar state, though the cuts were not nearly as clean, she says, and almost wretches. They were torn apart. Okay. But if
Oh.
this is your doing and not the forest's doing or Owlshead's doing, and she's gesticulating wildly with her hands right now, then that is actually good news. Very good news. Because then this is definitely unnatural if you had to go to the... I trust you guys. I don't think there's any... We're all veterans here, right? We've all seen some shit. So if you felt it necessary to bring out an axe and do this, I believe you. I have no reason not to believe you. So, in fact, I prefer this, okay? So this is not the thing we saw.
Good.
Thank God. And she
Great.
just leans back and leans like down in the moss and the ferns and everything and just... Oh, you have no idea how long I've been afraid of this shit. Oh, thank God. Ah, it's not the thing. Ah. Okay.
So
Oh, man.
to give some info on this guy, he keeps coming back to life, regenerating. That sucks.
Oh,
Obviously.
She just looks at the pieces and I don't have a fucking clue, man. She just laughs. She's laughing the laugh of someone who is relieved. Like there's a rock off both of her shoulders. A cloud over her mind has passed. Oh, man. She's still shaking her entire body and there's still cold sweat, but there's at the same time this mix of a relief. Yeah. I can tell you right now. Maybe I can tell you more now because you have confirmed So you've confirmed that this guy doesn't actually stay down. Gets back up again.
Yeah, it's happened at least
Correct.
twice.
Right. That's out of my ballpark, she says. So he keeps getting back up.
And there might be more of them.
How so? She says. Now she doesn't look so happy anymore.
We've heard that a lot of people have gone missing over the years in the mountains.
Oh yeah.
And this
yeah,
was
that's
one
the
of
one.
them. This was Cooter Mobile, I believe. According to the old man who lives near the mountain, at least.
Yeah. The story from old Thomas was that like some 60, 70 years ago, he saw this guy interacting with what he referred to as what, the winged ones, the flying ones, something like that.
Huh. Oh yeah, you were
They're described as being
I remember you
some,
during when you were in the night in Tom's cottage.
yeah.
Winged ones. Fuck.
The guy that we saw was what, 30s maybe. This guy has been missing for 70 years. So in addition to the regeneration, weird modifications and just strange physiology, when we did a bit of a vivisection dissection, we noticed some divots that kind of look resembling to a lobotomy of some type. So it's possible that whatever these winged ones or flying ones are, they may have done this to him and maybe even others. Alternatively, they may not be involved, and he just may be a crazy old man who lives on the mountains as an immortal, killing people that show up, like the surveyors.
If he's a crazy old man, he's not just because.
He ain't no normal crazy old man.
Exactly, I was gonna say. If
See, he
he's
shows evidence of outside tampering,
okay,
at least.
so something has tampered with this guy. All right. Huh. Yeah, that's not something I'm familiar with at all. Okay. That's as far as my advisory capacity goes. Okay, now we need to decide how we're gonna play this. She's gonna just sit on the ground on a large boulder, even as she's kind of running her hands through her hair. Huh. I suspect that I was called in here because Acel wants to know whether or not the thing on Glastonbury was an Owlshead. But this shit ain't Glastonbury, that's for sure. The thing is, if there is still a supernatural threat in the area, we have to identify it. If it was the Glastonbury thing, it was to pull the plug, and Alphonse is going to call in other resources. I don't know. But this stuff with this shit with winged ones and tampering with this guy, frankly, your guess is as good as mine. Whether we call, what we tell Alphonse. I don't want to be out here any more than you guys do. But whatever we do is going to be somebody's mess, isn't it? It's not it's not going to go away. If there are winged ones active up there, or if there aren't. You said he's been missing for how long? Like 50 years or whatever? 70?
About
Sure.
Huh.
There's other people who've gone missing too.
Yeah, but we don't know how much of that is these two guys, the surveyors who went missing, working for the company right now. Looking for their bodies can take an age on this mountain because of the size of the mountain, right? We know this much. Which means that until those bodies are found, it's going to be really hard to say if there's proof that they were just naturally careless, because in this wilderness, people can go missing. It's for rookie hikers, that can happen. Not as dangerous now, this time of season, this time of year, as it is during winter, obviously, but it certainly does happen. And when I was talking to the locals last time, they were shrugging about people going missing because tourists, it happens every so often. There's a search party, and basically the locals just think that the tourists are idiots who go out unprepared into the forest, which is not strange given where we are and so on. There might be an unnatural explanation behind it that the locals are not aware of. We don't know. But Glastonbury was different. But it was also it was similar. It was like a disappearance too when we were called in there. But we don't have any evidence that right now that this is the Glastonbury threat. So that's a good thing, she says. That's a very good thing. All right. But we have evidence of this guy, and we have rumors of winged ones. But if there are winged ones, or were winged ones, we don't know if there still are winged ones. So do we have any evidence that there are winged ones present on Owlshead now?
no.
No.
Pretty much as soon as we got to the standing stones, we saw this guy.
Thank God for that. Thank God for small mercies. This means that right now, all we have evidence of in any type of unnatural phenomena, it's this guy. I like that. Even though he's hard to kill, he is not the Glastonbury thing, and he doesn't have any wings, looks like to me.
We'd have to do a dissection to confirm that, but
Wouldn't he? Whatever. Yeah.
I guess, do his back muscles look overly developed as much as he
What
still
back
has?
muscles?
It looks
Yeah, I
like
was about to say.
Burn the guy.
You blew his back out.
Like, as much as it's possible to discern what his back was.
All right, we want to do a careful anatomical survey of this guy. Is that what we're going to do?
I guess just looking at the back and going, that's not a normal back.
You can definitely do some kind of. I mean, there's only charred remains right now. Like, muscle tissue seem to have burned off. Like, at least most of it. It's a desiccated. You know what, Blair? You've seen this kind of desiccation before. Almost. It's not exactly the same, but it's close enough. Remember when you were in St. Louis and you looked at all those dead bodies that was at the weird party in the Colonel's mansion?
Oh.
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, there's more. You saw the burning, right? You saw the entire process.
Yeah.
So it's like a desiccated, mummified body with layer of black soot scorch on the outside, much like when you do a whole pig rotisserie in a barbecue, like that type of sheen on the skin, that type of, when you burn it, yeah, it's, when you touch it, it can go crackle, that type of thing.
I guess in that spirit, what do his bones look like? Because the bones also have to be different to accommodate Wayne.
Don't they?
Yeah, or at least the possibility of wings. Because assuming he weighs in the neighborhood of 150 pounds, those wings would need to generate a considerable amount of force, i.e. they need to be big bones to accommodate big muscles, so...
You
That
don't
sternum
know
needs to
that
be
this
big,
guy
too.
ever weighed 150 pounds. He might have weighed
I know, it's...
30 or so. But yes, I get the point.
Yeah, it's an
Are
estimate.
the
It's...
bones hollow like a bird's? No, they're not. Blair,
So-
examining the body for a little while here, can attest that his entire bone structure is very human looking, really.
Okay, so there's no, like, divots in the scapulae.
For wings, no.
Any extra big bones now? Okay,
No.
that's what I was getting at. I was like, yeah. Anyway,
And I'm still
You
digging a
know-
hole.
I hate to be the party pooper here, but maybe we shouldn't be up here in the dark.
Yeah, more of them hooligans might show up.
You know what? Irene will absolutely 100% agree with you on that. Yeah, it's a generally bad idea, she says. This isn't Glastonbury, and this thing is not the Glastonbury thing, but I'd rather not.
Yeah.
so-
Possibility of there being more than one.
Okay, so we wrap it up in a tarp and take it to town, and we look for some cement in the drum barrel.
I say we just wrap it up in a tarp and semi-bury it and then come back tomorrow.
Oh, come on. I don't want to have to kill it a third
No.
time.
I don't think we should leave it. Because we don't know
What-
if it's going to regenerate or not, even
You
after
know-
being burned.
Okay, also important question. How brisket do these bones look?
Huh? How brisket-like?
You trying to eat them?
No, I'm just trying to see if I told somebody I came from a barbecue and we're saving these for my pet dog, how likely would I be to get away with that?
Oh my god.
Oh lord.
As long as you just show certain body parts, you probably could get away with quite a bit of that.
Yeah, the
Oh.
skull, maybe
Like,
not.
humans and pigs are apparently anatomically very much alike. So, I think you can get the rib cage. That's going to be the hardest part, I guess, to sell. But as long as you don't have like hands and feet that are obviously human, and I think parts like the arms, the forearms, and okay, this is getting a bit grotesque, isn't it?
Yeah. On the bright side, they do smell similar after you cook them, though.
Yep.
I'm not gonna ask how you know that. I'm curious, but
That's
Might have read in the book.
probably the case, he said, never having smelled barbecued human. Burnt flesh is burnt flesh.
can we like pack this guy in a cooler?
You could,
Okay.
probably. What cooler, though? You don't have a cooler at hand. You have a bunch of tarp.
Wrap him up in the tarp.
Okay.
Put him over your shoulder like Santa with his sack of gifts.
Sharp stuff in there, too, just in case he does start to regenerate.
What was that?
I said put some sharp stuff in there with him, too, just in case he starts to regenerate. Might get, like, a screwdriver or, like, a knife stuck in him.
So we can shake it and make him stop.
Toss some gravel in there.
Yeah. I know that, like, they can poison trees by putting, I think it's like copper or some sort of piece of some metal inside a tree.
Lead?
Same basic concept.
Do you mean lead?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not a scientist. I'm more of a big idea guy.
The struggles of Z-Cell.
I'm not a tree guy either. I don't know.
Yeah, this is not really... Unfortunately, Irene can't help you much with this. She's not schooled in this type of thing. Alright then. We're going back to the motel. That's what it sounds like to me. With the van and another vehicle and a tarp filled with body parts.
And a sack of goodies.
That's
Gonna toss
tarp.
him down the chimney.
Wait, what?
There was actually like a holiday story where Odin tossed a whole dead horse down a chimney and it killed everyone inside.
What a prank.
Oh,
Maybe I should do that with this guy. Just sacrifice a family. In the name of getting this thing out of here.
Yes, that's definitely what you've been doing now. So we're gonna be back at the motel rooms in the little town, and you have to decide what to do with the body pieces here, because is there a cooler? There is. You have the motel room fridges.
Of course. Empty out that freezer.
Yeah. I'm sure the motel has a cooler, big freeze box where you keep, because they need to keep a kitchen after all going. So that could be something if you want to pack everything into the same cooler. But then you'd have to convince them that you need to use it.
This dude doesn't necessarily require refrigeration. So,
Hey,
I
it doesn't
think-
stink.
yeah, exactly. So I think we might be fine with just letting him sit on the floor.
I don't know about on the floor. Let's like put him in the bathtub or something.
Just tape him to the ceiling.
Yeah, okay, so I guess the plan should be to go grab like a garbage bag or something just to make sure we don't have any extra leakage.
All right.
Just-
So how is this? Let me get a clear picture of how we're disposing of this, or preserving, or storing the body, because this is Delta Green, and storing a strange, unnatural body is Tuesday for you guys, isn't it? We have now arms and legs divided into at least all the different segments. So basically, it's going to be like thighs and shin bones and forearms and biceps, and then a torso and a head. Potentially separated so that there's a hip and a chest area. I don't know. It's up to you guys. And then, where does the body puzzle of Cooter McGee go?
I was thinking a cooler is probably the least suspicious place, but if we're talking functionality, a barrel of concrete might be best.
But you don't have
Definitely don't
concrete.
put him in the cooler.
You don't have concrete at hand at the moment. I don't think that all the body parts would fit into your motel cooler, because it's not a very big cooler. Like, it's, you know how big. You can put in like a bottle of Coke in there if you're lucky, I guess. That's
I'm just thinking we could head down to the camping store and get one of those, like,
camping store closed
know,
this hour.
oh,
Yeah.
then I guess we just prop him up in a chair with some sunglasses and hope for the best.
What I think we should do is get like garbage bags or like a bag or whatever. Not necessarily carry everything in all at once. But everybody just grab a couple bags, park close to the motel door, just bring the garbage bags or whatever in.
Yeah.
Just leave it in the bathtub, and then somebody hang out at the motel while somebody drives around to try and find a construction site. Just so we need to knock this out tonight.
All right.
Yeah.
All opposed?
Yep.
Was it opposed? Okay, cool. I asked if anybody was opposed.
Oh.
Sounds like we're cool.
You said yes.
Oh, that was an accident. I misheard.
Cool.
Irene,
Does anybody?
if you're bringing Irene in on the, because it seems like she's going to hear about your story about the whole putting the thing in a construction site. No, that's a terrible idea.
We're not putting it in the construction site. That's just where we're getting the barrel and cement.
Oh, got you. That's much better. Yeah, so a simple breaking and entering into a construction site to get the stuff. Yeah, that makes much more sense. Okay. Oh man, I've been writing a desk for too long. She says.
I envy you.
Same.
Any volunteers for night driving versus bathtub sitting?
Who has the highest drive, just in case we run into anything?
I'm at 50.
Okay, so that's you then.
It's going to turn out to be
that's
Irene.
you.
She is a better driver than any of you, apparently.
Cool.
Oh.
Useful for something, she is.
Man, can't think of another time it would have been nice to have a good driver on hand.
Oh my god.
It's never happened before.
Yeah.
The question is her driving higher than 78?
Does someone have 78?
Oh, I guess it would be 77, because 77 killed
Oh,
last driver.
the killer roll. All right, so we're going to drive around. How do we find a construction site around here? Irene says, and I haven't been here for years, so I mean, I haven't looked around for a construction site while I was doing. Oh, let me get back to you on the Fitzgerald piece. I almost forgot. Yeah, he doesn't want to see me. I know where he lives though. He lives in a trailer park, and rumor has it that he's a drunk. Basically, that what happened 3 years ago broke him. He's a mess. I don't know how much help he's going to be. I'm sure he doesn't want to be involved in this, and I'm sure he doesn't want to go into the forest anymore, because, yeah. That reaction is, yeah, I think he's broken. But he might be useful in some fashion anyway. I don't know. Or not.
If he doesn't want to go in the woods and it's not related to what happened on Glastonbury, I'm not really sure how relevant he would be. Might be better to just let him drink at the trailer park.
It could be.
Unless anybody else thinks it's worth putting an ear to the ground on that.
I think letting him drink in peace is probably the best option.
Cool.
Speaking of drinking,
Irene
Yes.
smiles.
We
I
missed.
like how you think. We didn't get it properly done on the first night of the op, did we?
Yeah, we did.
So let's do
What?
some drinking after we're done driving, though. Let's come back and have a celebratory drink with some cement.
Yes. That. Alright, so now all you need to do is to go into town and find a construction site somewhere in the valley.
Is there like a yellow pages we can look at just to see if there's like a construction company or something? They might have a warehouse or somewhere in town.
Yes, absolutely.
Curtis's Concrete.
Something like that, yes. That's basically what it's gonna be, isn't it? Curtis's
Or maybe-
Concrete. For all your concrete needs.
We sell concrete and concrete accessories.
Exactly.
We turned that can't-crete into a concrete. Still
Or
working on that.
Maybe
I
we could
have a
also-
feeling that the people in the valley here might not be the best at ad copy, so don't expect amazing slogans. Or, yeah. Anyway, let's say that it's going to take you half an hour or so to find, as you're going through the telephone directory, a good store that does the concrete thing. So now all you need to do is to break in to the place with the van at hand and get a big barrel out and a lot of concrete, bags of concrete. You're not going to have a mixer on hand. It's going to be, you'll have to do it by hand because you don't have like a machine mixer. But that works too, I guess. You could do it that way too. Who's the best? Fallas, you are the one who is the break-in master, aren't you?
I have broken a few places in my day.
And some chests, apparently. Alright, let's see what kind of larceny you can do.
Is it just me and Irene rolling? Everybody else staying at the motel room?
Irene is not going inside. She's driving the car. She's driving the van. She's just gonna be your escape driver. She's
Pretty good at sneaky. I might be able to help.
You are pretty
Let's
good at
do it.
sneaking.
Room for one more.
I'm not the best with combat, so maybe I should go with you because I don't know what I'm going to be able to do against a body.
You can occasionally just poke it and prod it just to do
Okay,
damage
then
over
maybe-
time.
Then maybe I should stay on body
What,
sitting,
you
I
and-
guess.
You and Tristan
Yeah.
stay behind and just chop the body every once in a while with a machete.
Wouldn't be the weirdest thing we've done. So,
Probably not. Blair, are you staying behind to...
Yeah, I'll stay behind as well, just in case, to keep an eye out, just to see if it'll even regenerate again.
Funny you should ask.
That's not funny at all.
Roll a medicine check for me, please.
Okay. Medicine.
Seeing as you are clearly looking inside the tarp and checking to see if it's... Now we have the span of a while, right? It's not going to be a minute-by-minute thing. You'd need to have a microscope to study the tissue in better detail, and I don't think you have a microscope at hand. Though I'm sure you could get one come Monday from somewhere. Might take a few hours to get a hold of one properly. And I'm sure Gwen might be interested in a microscope as well, right? For those tissue samples.
yep.
But you don't have one at hand at the moment, sadly. But since this is going to take a while for Fallas and Irene and Morgan, you might just come to some conclusions anyway. So I'm going to just pull the three of you to the side here for a moment, and because you're still at the motel room and you're not out trying to break into concrete shop in Townsend. What has this concrete shop ever done to you? Or is it the Duxbury? No. I think it's probably like the local big town here, which is Townsend, which has several chain stores and the Blue Moon Mall. And even a multiplex of theaters. You could go to the movies without leaving the valley here. Huh? Modernity has finally arrived.
Oh, amazing.
Amazing. Hundreds of families live here. Fallas, I want you to do the larceny check, please. This is your usual, like, hardware store. This place, I guess it needs to have some burglary protection, but not a whole lot, because this is not really... The only reason people just don't go through here to go somewhere else. This is not like a big truck stop for interstate traffic or what have you. There might be some traffic towards Canada, but that would be it. So usually I don't think this area has to look out for outsiders coming in a whole lot to steal. So I don't really get the vibe that this particular store will necessarily have things like cameras and whatnot. It's going to have a sturdy lock, probably a bolt lock on the back lot where the chain link fence yard is, and maybe a code lock, like you have to have a 4-digit code to press and maybe a pass key to slip to get in through the back door. None of which is terribly difficult for you fellas to get through, because you've seen these security systems before, haven't you? These are good enough to keep, shall we say, homeless people out. But someone who is an expert at breaking and entering, it's a matter of time before you get in.
Cool.
Do we want Morgan and Fallas to roll a stealth check each, perhaps? Because that could be a way of triggering something. Maybe if we fumble here, perhaps someone will see you guys. The local drunk is going to go and relieve themselves. That was not a fumble. Neither was that. But it was close. Alright, this is going to take longer than Fallas expected because of that failure, basically. Which, incidentally, gives a different group of people something to do as well, doesn't it? Over in the motel. Over in the motel, we have other people. Specifically, Tristan, Blair, and Gwen.
Yeah.
Investigating whether the body is regenerating or not. So I guess I should put the old man down here again. You know what? He's regenerating.
Fuck.
After an hour,
Okay.
you can see that things are, like, the flesh is starting to rebuild again. The tissue there's like small tendrils shooting out to see if it can reconnect with the other tissue. You can't hear... there might be some moaning from the skull.
No.
Some little moaning.
No. Please, no. Not the moaning, no.
If you just been
What if-
completely fried all over, it's gonna hurt.
What if we fill the bathtub and put the head in there?
Oh, then it just bubbles underneath. Yeah, that's...
Wait, hear me out. What if we suspend the limbs from the ceiling fan so the tendrils can't decide which direction to go in?
What if the ceiling fan is on? Well, we...
I know.
I want
We
you
like
all to
it
roll
in
a
the baby
sanity check now.
mobile.
I want you all to roll a sanity check, please.
Because to do that, or
If I come back in and see
Oh no.
torso mobile, it's over.
sorry, all I can imagine is the chandelier song now.
Oh my
Specifically the tone version.
Well, Blair is definitely, let's just say that it's a lot. How about that? It's a lot.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is definitely a supernatural effect. I'm not gonna say that it's benign in nature. It's not harmful to you, but it is grotesque. Let's take 2 sanity points off of you, shall we?
Oh.
How do you react to that? As you're seeing this absolute impossibility freak of nature. This thing that just keeps...
I mean, she's just blankly staring, trying to process this all.
Yeah, these tendrils, Blair, they remind you of things that you've seen in the past. You've seen Groversville. You've seen the horrid thing inside the town hall with its pseudopods that were shooting out. You've seen the people who were no longer people, who could change the shapes of their arms and legs to extreme lengths. Same kind of gray filaments. It gives you a little bit of, maybe some flashbacks here. Not quite enough to actually send you over the edge, obviously, because I don't even know that you have any. Oh, you have depression. That's lovely.
Yeah,
An
that's
acute
sort of been there
episode
for a while.
is triggered by reminders of past traumas. An acute episode. Let's see. In an acute episode. So yeah, this is a reminder of past trauma, isn't it?
Yeah, she's not doing well.
No.
Blair's
So
probably just gone silent for
every
now.
skill or stat test will now cost a D4 willpower points for you. Because you've seen things before, and yeah, you just like the whole. Feel free to describe yourself, how the depression expresses itself. For Blair.
Blair's sort of just gone silent and blank-faced. It's probably not easy to tell what's going on in her mind right now.
So I take it you don't want to help set up the corpse mobile?
No, I don't think she will. Or will you?
Nope, she's just watching.
Speaking of, did we ever test the body with the purple spray?
Oh,
Not so
I don't
far.
think we did.
Just gonna grab some from my bag. And sorry. And test the body.
Oh,
Sorry.
You are spraying the body with the body spray, and it's weird because it reacts, but it doesn't turn purple, it turns blue.
Oh, fuck that. Fuck that. Never mind with the corpse mobile. Maybe we should just run this thing a hot bath. For a bit. Actually, corpse mobile might
be the safest option now that I think about it, because running in a hot bath would just make it escape the body.
Right. So when Morgan, Fallas, and Irene get back from their little errand to the concrete store, the hardware store that has the concrete and the barrel, we find Gwen, Blair discussing how to deal with the body. Have you done anything with the body at this point?
Aside from the corpse mobile, no.
Have you done the corpse mobile?
I think we did. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see Tristan doing that, honestly.
Yeah.
So
I think there was a moment.
You gotta come back. You gotta come back to see these a bunch of corpse pieces hanging from the fan.
yeah.
And spinning, yeah.
And spinning.
The whole point was to get it in constant motion so we couldn't reattach.
I think Fallas, Morgan, and Irene should roll a sanity check for seeing a horribly mutilated body mounted from the ceiling fan.
That's fair, honestly.
I think so.
No.
I have seen it all, bro.
Clearly.
Yeah, I think halfway through, Sarah kind of realized she shouldn't be a parent ever, because there's no way to get a normal mobile after this.
Bro, what the heck, man? What the heck?
The good news is that Jacqueline Morgan finally gets adapted to violence because she loses another sanity point.
Yay!
The bad
Yay.
news
Yay.
is that getting adapted to things does bad things to you. Use
Oh.
permanently 1d6 charisma and the same amount from each bond. Roll, Morgan, roll. You've just joined the group of people who have seen some serious shit. Okay.
Oh no.
Oh.
Your charisma is
Holy
now
crap.
a 4.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Holy crap.
You lose 6 from Addison and 6 from Bo. Luckily, that doesn't break either bond. Woohoo!
Wow.
Because if it had, you would have had to roll for. You'd have already been adapted to helplessness.
Oh lord. Gosh, I am. Look.
All fine, isn't it? It's all fine.
Most unfortunate.
Yeah, I think
What did you do to
Irene
me?
sees this when she steps in. You're all. We have left the barrel in the van because we're not carrying it into the motel. That would be weird.
Right.
Yeah. So you're stepping in there. It's now like 10:30 in the evening. There are probably some other motel guests here because it's June. It's not going to be fully booked or anything, but I'm sure there are hikers who have taken an early vacation or what have you. So you've driven up with the van, you're getting into the motel room, you're opening the door, stepping in, and how does Morgan react with her failure here and her like, ugh?
I say absolutely nothing. I walk in, I look at the hanging body parts. My mind silently crumbles behind a stoic exterior as I just walk into the bathroom, close the door behind me, and just stare at a wall for who knows how long.
That actually makes sense.
Yeah, that's how I do it.
And of course, from now on, Morgan is going to be not a pleasant person to be around because I'm not going to say that she has that psychopath feeling because she's not, in fact, a psychopath, but very cold, perhaps, just off-putting in general. doesn't like to make friends because she's seen too much, and if you make friends, you just lose them, and that's going to just take more out of your, or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I've got like a bajillion yard stare.
What was that?
1,000-yard stare.
1,000-yard stare.
That 1,000-yard stare I had before is now multiplied by 2,000. So it's now
So
a
it's a-
200,000-yard stare.
So it's a 10 to the power of 8th yard stare.
Right.
Yeah.
And Irene, of course, she sees this and just go, oh, fuck. And just, like, shivers and closes the door.
We would have warned you if you knocked, but... Yeah.
Why didn't we knock? She says, and just looks at you all deadpan.
I'm just saying it's a motel room.
I'm going to my room if you don't mind. And she's gonna go to her room. She does not want to be around the spinning fan with the arms and the legs hanging from the blades. For unknown reasons. Who knows?
What the hell?
Also, if you're all cordially invited to a drink, she says, and goes to her motel room.
Same in here, but I have a feeling people don't want to drink with Cooter McGee spinning on the ceiling.
Probably not, honestly.
Sarah's perfectly fine with that, but...
So, are we gonna go drinking? Is that the plan?
I think Sarah will stay in there to watch over the Cooter McGee mobile while drinking.
I don't think Blair should drink during a depression episode.
I'm still in the bathroom.
Hey,
I
it's
haven't
not-
blinked. I don't know. A minute.
Do you want a drink? I guess I'd yell from the outside.
I don't drink.
Do you want like a bag of chips? I say chips, but it's just the peanuts we got on the airplane that I haven't eaten yet.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. Yep.
Is anyone going to Irene's place to have a drink?
I'm sure I'm out after, I don't know, half an hour, maybe more.
The Cooter McGee mobile.
Actually, yeah, after half an hour, I exit the door, I look at the Cooter Mobile again, and I just turn around and go back in the bathroom.
Oh.
You're never gonna get out of there, are you?
Oh, I'm not the one who cut him up, okay? Don't blame me for that. If he was in one piece, I still probably would have attached him to the ceiling fan just to see what happened. But blame Fallas for the multiple pieces.
I think I'm not gonna argue with that. Yeah.
Also, just so you know, you're probably aware of this already, but you're taking up the only bathroom in the hotel room.
In that motel room, but you don't have a single motel room. You have several, I'm guessing, because there's 5 of you?
Yeah. Would you be okay with us blindfolding you and
while we
Oh.
remove you from the room?
Sure.
Okay.
I think I want to
Sounds
gouge
good.
my eyes out. I don't want to see anything ever again.
Yeah, I understand that reaction.
As have entered this fugue-like state, Morgan, something, maybe it starts tomorrow morning after you've had a good night's sleep, who knows, but psychologically the whole adapted to violence thing is like you will no longer pay attention, if you will, to the full emotional cost of hurting people. Harm is ordinary for you. If you punch someone in the face, that's not breaking a social norm, that's a tool.
Oh yeah, it's like a chore.
Yeah,
Folding laundry, folding spines, same thing.
exactly. So when you're doing horrible things, you might just have a calm voice, a clinical tone, like a checklist. Threat assessment instead of empathy. And when you've done violence, you don't shake or anything, you just reload and you check corners and you move on. That kind of thing. You might have some inappropriate humor that lands horribly with everyone who is not adapted to violence. You might get irritable with soft people because they have emotions that you don't, and that's just annoying, maybe weak. And maybe you're not going to ask about how other people feel anymore because it seems irrelevant. Who knows? Your family will describe you as distant, cold, always on edge. Yeah, so that's the adapted to violence bit. The adapted to helplessness bit, which I think quite a few of you already have. Some of you.
I have that.
Yeah, you have that. Gwen actually doesn't have either yet. Nor does Fallas.
To be fair, Talbot used to
You
have
hate-
both.
Yes. That's a loss of agency becoming familiar. You just don't expect the world to be controllable and stop trying to control it so hard. So, tell me what you need, I'll do it. So you stop initiating, you stop just expecting having agency, or just accept your fate. Yeah, okay. Of course we don't have a way out, that figures. Quiet fatalism, self-neglect, maybe you miss a meal or two, miss a call. Less will to resist temptations, compulsions. Fatigue hits harder. Any exercise that is there to rejuvenate your spirit or your mental strength just feels hollow. What is the point of meditating? It doesn't really... You can't pump yourself up that way anymore. Which is why you need to do the whole downtime exercises of rebuilding those stats, right?
Yes.
We don't get to win, we just get to decide how we lose. That's how the fatalism plays in. So yeah, Irene is sitting there with a bottle of hard liquor. It's gonna be Jack Daniels, the cheapest Jack Daniels she could find. And she's gonna put up glasses for everyone and pour. She doesn't know that Morgan doesn't drink, so she's just assuming. Because that's what we do in Delta Green, isn't it? Alright, one drink at least, everyone. It's a ritual, isn't it?
Oh.
Who begins?
This is a
Yes! What? What was that? There was so much breakup. Very robotic. All the robots.
Just asking if this was in Irene's room.
Oh yeah, we're definitely doing it in Irene's room. Nobody's doing it with a Cooter Mobile hanging
I
around.
mean, I probably am, but that might just be a Sarah thing.
Oh, Sarah's going back to her room? Or back to the Cooter McGee room?
I think the Cooter McGee room might be her room now.
But Irene is gonna call on you like, hey Zyra, just get over here, have a drink. You're part of it.
Okay, but only if someone babysits Cooter.
Fair
I
enough.
don't want him sneaking. I don't want him sneaking off. He was blue.
She doesn't even know what that means. But Tristan will babysit Cooter, because
Okay.
he's not here. All right, you're the rookie. You start. Freaky shit that brought you into this shit.
I worked in a lab. We got a bunch of really weird samples all the time, but there was this one that the rats, I don't know how to describe it, it just took over the rats. And it would regenerate the injuries that the rats had incredibly well, and there was no way to remove it without killing the rat. And it wasn't like a parasite or a virus or bacteria. It was a whole new class of fucked up. All we could do really was find an indicator and go on with our lives. I think it gave me nightmares, but not like normal nightmares, but real weird ones.
I'll drink to that, says Irene. Clinks her glass.
Yeah.
Sweeps her whiskey. Next. How long have you been? Who's fresher here? She says.
Next up,
I
had a couple.
let's see now. I've been in this shit for 8 years. I joined in 1990. Eight fucking years of this.
I just had my first pop last year.
Huh,
I had
okay.
a couple
you're
weird
up then.
interactions before that.
Yeah, of course. We all had a couple of weird shits before that.
So I told the gang previously about my encounter with the pressure man or whatever that was, but after that I had another weird situation with the disappearance of some sort of professor. And long story short, we get there and then he had some sort of weird ham radio computer set up off the rest of
fuck
the...
me. No radios, man. Oh, jeez Christ. Ham radios. I hate them. Yeah, go ahead.
He had found some sort of way to, I don't know if he was creating it or mapping it or how it works. Essentially, there were what I can only refer to as like a folded space doorway that would take you from one room into a completely unconnected room. And he had disappeared, and I had found one of his students who was able to help decipher some of his work. We were able to open one of these doorways to the observatory from the math department, which is like 4 buildings away. And the kid stepped into it. I tried to stop him, and he didn't. And as soon as he did, it shrunk down to the size of about a dime. And they ended up finding his watch in the cement a couple days later.
She's just gonna clink your glass. This time she's not draining hers. Because she doesn't want to do shots all the time. Because you have a Cooter Mobile in a room.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to get completely wasted, given that. But she will drink to that. Then it's gonna be Morgan, right? Because Blair is the vet here.
Yep.
I have not taken a single sip of the Jack Daniels, but I just stare at the ice in the glass for a little bit. And then I tell her the story about the whole Sons of the Tree thing. Very clinical detail.
Yeah, she's listening, like, every wave, every event and tale and twist and turn, and every once in a while she'll just, okay, I'll drink to that. What is Blair gonna say?
Oh, which one? Blair probably would have shared the St. Louis story, not the cult part, but the whole sex party, the murders, all that.
The six party stuff. Oh, yeah, okay. You know what, she says? Let's see how slurry she is by now. Everybody roll a constitution check who is drinking booze.
Wait, did she mention the crystal?
Oh yeah, Blair would have mentioned the crystals.
Ah, interesting.
Miss Gwen will have plus 20 on all sanity checks as long as you keep drunk. See, there is a bonus to drinking stuff around here.
Nope.
Blair will also get a bonus to drinking. 2 sanity checks, not to drinking.
Maybe that's why
Fallas.
the crystal.
What was that?
Maybe that's why the crystal detail doesn't disturb me. I'm too drunk to notice it.
Maybe. Oh, are you? Is the crystal with you now?
I don't think so. I think it's still back in her room at home, but
Yeah, that makes sense.
Did not
You
show
know.
either of my rolls. Did not show either of my rolls.
I can't see any roll from you. No.
Okay.
So, you have heavy drinking gives your agent a plus 10% bonus to repress an acute episode at the same time as a minus 20 penalty to all skill and stat tests. So, Morgan, if you want to get out of... No, Blair, you can get out of your depression by drinking heavily.
Oh no.
That'd be a
Fallas.
great idea.
Okay, everybody has... Okay, so you have... Let's go. Repressing someone who makes a psychotherapy can talk you down. Takes a few minutes. Make sure it's obvious to everyone that something is wrong. Okay, so I guess Blair is just sitting there being... How is Blair's depression going to express itself here together with everyone else?
She's probably talking a bit slow or without much emotion to her words. She's still blank face, not really reacting much right now.
you okay?
Okay, you can repress it by projecting the stress and trauma onto a bond. If you want.
Can I? Yeah, no, I'm not gonna do that to bonds for now.
Very well. So, basically, yeah, because the amount is spending a D4 willpower. Describe how a bond might help your agent keep it together. Reduce the bond by the same amount. And roll a sanity check. If it succeeds, you suppresses the insanity or disorder and behaves normally. You can get out of your depression by doing that. But yeah, but you have lots of bonds. You have so many bonds to take from. It's fine, right?
I don't think I'm gonna risk that. When does a bond break? What
When you
number
hit
is
0.
that?
When you hit 0.
Okay.
Irene does not notice that you are messed up. Anyone else can roll a psychotherapy check to notice that Blair is messed up. And
I'm having connection issues. Could you roll mine for me, please? It's not very high, but
it is not very high.
Oh. I had psychotherapy, but it's, might as well try it.
Yeah, no, Fallas is not gonna succeed. Not
I
on
got
that.
fish eyes right now. I ain't seeing nothing.
Nope.
I got a negative 10%.
You might be seeing a bit more than me there, Morgan.
Apparently.
Yeah, because you're drunk. Me.
So everybody just
I'm
misses
kinda
Blair's general state of depression here, and yeah. You just sitting there being slow, low, quiet.
Yeah.
You can't even roll for anything without spending a D4 willpower points.
Oh.
Pick you, pick me.
Finally, it's Irene's turn to tell her story, and she's, yeah, I've seen some shit in my days. When I started, we didn't have cells. It was different then. But then shit happened, and a cell just decided to organize everything into cells. I don't know. Apparently we're all being hunted by something or someone, which shouldn't surprise anyone, should it?
That's awful news.
Oh yeah, this team is just filled with good news, isn't it? It's just sun shows and rainbows and unicorns all the way.
And if I'd known I would be hunted, I probably wouldn't have joined. But I guess it's nice to know.
Yeah, I wasn't informed about that
Too late
either.
now, honey. Too late now. Yeah, this was... My story here was winter of 94. We were sent to an abandoned weather station. There was a missing tech and a string of ghost transmissions, and everybody just expected a squatter or busted repeater or something mechanical. Instead, the entire building was rimed with frost from the inside. It was weird. The break room, the coffee pot. You would have hated it. And she looks at Morgan. Like, it was still in the pot. It was like frozen mid-pour. Like there was like a brown wave trapped under ice. The hallway fluorescents, they didn't flicker, they were pulsing. Like there was like a pulse to the throbbing. And when we were exhaling, because see, I have ham radios, I don't go near them. Our fog, the breath, it went to the radio room. Like the radio room was inhaling our breath. We keyed the radio to call base, and there was a voice answering immediately. But it wasn't on our frequency. It wasn't, yeah. It was very polite and it was calm. It was saying things that it shouldn't know about. I had a blister on one of my toes, and it was talking about, nobody knew my blister, but it was talking about it. The exact time on the cheap watch Irving was wearing, even though it was always running too fast. And then it got personal. It was just checking off like a list, getting under our skin. Irving tried to rip the coax cables out, but the voice didn't get angry, it just got closer, like the room shrank. We found the tech, eventually. He was alive, he was kneeling, he was praying. It was like frost along his eyelashes. I went outside because I'm the climber in the group, on the exterior of the tower, and I snapped the wires to the rig so the mast folded. And the radio in my chest rig burst into a last transmission. That was my voice saying, "Don't ask questions you don't want answered." Anyway. So that was that. So I guess, Xander, you're not the only one who's had some weird shit happening to electronics.
Yeah, imagine that. That's all equally terrifying, but I think I should go down and check on the mobile and potentially get fixed in some cement.
Yeah, speaking of that, Tristan will knock on the motel door at some point. You've been sharing your stories for a while, and it's like Tristan is just opening the door ever so slightly, slightly ajar, and just it's doing shit again.
Oh no.
Not again, man.
Not my Cooter Mobile.
We put out my power went out for a split second. I don't know what I missed.
The Cooter Mobile is doing shit.
Oh no.
I'll grab the rest of the bottle of Jack on the way out the door.
Exactly. As you get back into Gwen's motel room, you can all see that there are these... Blair, they remind you so much of those pseudopods, but like very thin, translucent, not quite slimy, but certainly oozing, we can say. Tendrils coming out from each limb, and somehow they know where to go, even with the centrifugal forces of the fan, and they connect to each other.
Oh no, it's another weekly.
And start slowly but surely trying to fuse the body parts together again. Yeah. Everybody roll a sanity check again.
Oh no. Why? I knew it was too easy. I knew it was too easy.
Look at you.
It's too easy.
Everybody's fine. You've seen some stuff before, haven't you? Why
I've seen
react
it.
to
I've
this?
seen it before.
The Cooter Mobile is nothing new. At this point.
I already got screwed up over it.
Fallas, feel free to react to the Cooter Mobile as you lose a sanity point. To this obviously unnatural circumstance.
It's a yes. It's a loss of a sanity point. It's more of a, how did I know this is exactly what was going to happen from the deepest of my fears?
Just stands watching it agape, maybe? I don't know. What do the other people see?
It's absolute face palm moment because he's just Jesus. My worst fears come true.
Do you still have that axe?
You're in trouble. Somebody had the hatchet.
Okay, we'll
That's
see.
me. I have it.
Oh, yeah.
I'll just hand it to you. Here. Here, deal with it.
Yeah, Irene's fuck me. Fuck me fucking sideways. Jesus fucking Christ. And she takes another drink from the Jack Daniels that Fallas is currently holding. Oh,
I know.
you all had, but it doesn't, oh, Fallas, let's see now. No, because you rolled a 92. You needed a 70, because, were you drunk at this point, Fallas?
I had been drinking, yes.
Yes, you have been drinking. Did you fail your constitution check? Yes, you did.
Yes, I did. I
So
did.
you actually have a +10 on all sanity checks.
Okay. I mean, I still failed, but yeah.
Yeah, you still failed it.
So I need to make another one because I'm going to re-dismember everything.
No, that's just for this one. Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
So you're gonna have a -20 on all the other skill checks, but your mind is a little bit numbed, which probably is a good thing right now. Irene is just, Jesus fucking Christ. What the fuck do we do with this fucking thing? It's...
Burning it didn't work. Chopping it to pieces didn't work.
just do all of it over again, ready to time. You don't have to do the same thing, obviously. But even just a regular fire, just stop the chemical reaction, go ahead and chop the rest out, and then just put it in the barrel, get it over with.
But it's gonna do the same shit in the barrel, isn't it? Irene says.
Not if there's a barrel and it's covered in concrete. It's not going to be able to do the same thing.
Okay, so then we've solved the problem until some schmuck comes and, opens up the concrete in, I don't know how many years.
Right, and that's why we were talking about potentially establishing a green box just for the area to contain it, not just burying it all deep in the woods somewhere.
Put it in concrete, and then we put it in a green box somewhere. Works for me.
I'm gonna get to butchering again. Go ahead and take things off the ceiling fan. Just take it over to the bathtub where it's more easy to contain. Go ahead, start chopping stuff up. If they have firewood or something nearby outside for like bonfires or a fire pit, just go find something to start a fire. Not here, but put some firewood in the pan.
Can't really have a fire in the bathtub because Motel and everything, like all the sprinklers and smoke alarms will go off.
I mean, we could try to steal it and then take it back to a lab.
Steal what?
Steal... If this is anything like protomatter, then we probably should just find a way to seal it in a container and take it to a lab.
What's protomatter?
It's what had infected those mice that I think gave me nightmares. It basically takes over your systems, and you need to inject some sort of chemical to make it freak the fuck out and leave the body, but that typically means killing the patient.
This patient is pretty fucking dead already, isn't he?
Not enough, unfortunately.
I'm just saying, to get the chemical, we'd probably need to be in a lab anyway, so...
I don't think that we want or need the chemical. I think our job is to dispose of, contain, or otherwise neutralize any potential weird shenanigans.
Irene points Fallas. This rookie gets it. You're not a rookie anymore, are you? Because you had a mission already. So, this guy gets it.
We disposed of the last type by incinerating it, but this shit doesn't seem to react to incineration, so I don't know what else we can do aside from just isolating it.
This whole conversation is like me pulling things off and actively getting ready to butcher them. People are going to sit there and watch me do it, that's fine, but I'm explaining to them, like, hey, I'm butchering it, next step, start a fire somewhere, that way we can mix the cement barrel, figure out where to put it, and be done with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that. You're welcome to take the lead, sir. Irene has absolutely nothing against letting you do that gross work.
Yeah, for the third time, I will introduce my chest cavity.
Alright, so we're gonna go... That was a bit of breakup there, but what I'm understanding is you're gonna take the pieces of Cooter somewhere outside and maybe are we going to the forest or just into a backlot somewhere? Like, we don't want to be in the motel, obviously.
Okay. 2 plans. We need to decide which one. Easier, I guess, maybe, but scarier is dig a hole somewhere in the woods. Someone's not going to fuck with it. If they're just now sending surveyors up there, it's not like they're going to be building too deep to make a ski resort anywhere anytime soon. We'll just find somewhere that there would be no reason. It would just be slopes and like no reason to build a building there, which is a lot of work. But just finding a hole, putting the barrel in it with cement is one option. Second option is just establish a green box somewhere in the area, get a rental space, do something, or some sort of temporary space so ASAP can send someone to pick it up and do something otherwise. But we're overthinking it. We're spending too much time drinking and having fun.
Irene is, yeah, this is your up, guys. Right now, we're very far away from my remit here. I'm here to advise you on the forests and the hills. And we have managed to successfully proven that this is not the same as Glastonbury. And cheers to that.
Agreed. So, does anybody have a specific note as to whether we just run into space and then tell ASL to pick it up as soon as they can, or if we dig a hole?
Yeah,
Just
Irene is
all the
going to look
other as far as I'm concerned.
Irene is going to look towards Agent Zaki, which is Blair, of course. And up to you, Zaki. You are the vet of Z-Cell. This is your op. So I guess unless you want to call a vote or whatever, I don't know how your cell acts or makes decisions.
We
But
usually
she's looking
do
at you.
Put these things to a vote, yeah.
All right.
I vote hole.
Morrigan, how do you vote?
I'm just doing. I'm alright with whatever this is. Just get rid of it. I don't care anymore.
Gwen?
I'm in favor of getting out of here as soon as possible.
What does that mean?
That means contacting ASL to come pick it up.
That means also waiting until a storage place is open in the morning and Monday.
Yeah.
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 All right. Irene leans back. You know what they're going to say.
So wait,
for this
hold
first.
us. We can't be fired, so do we really need to care what they say?
You can't quit.
So I can be fired.
Not really fired in that way, no. The only way you leave our illustrious little group is feet first.
So I can't be fired.
You can, let's put it this way, says Irene. You can always be neutralized if you're a liability.
Got it.
In other
So-
words, don't fuck with ACEL. It's not a good idea.
Got it. So I can be incompetent,
Oh yeah.
just not malicious. Okay, good. So
No, you can be
It's just once, and
maliciously
they warn you,
incompetent.
and then, yeah.
You can be
Sorry?
maliciously incompetent if you're compromising the group. They're gonna make sure that you don't, ever.
exactly, that's malicious. So long as I'm not malicious, I can't be fired.
But you have to remember who's doing the interpretation here. That's not you, it's them.
I can't call a lie.
So it's 2 votes all?
What was that?
So that's 2 votes all?
2
Yeah.
votes for putting it in a green box and calling ACEL and saying, you take care of this now.
Yeah, this seems like it would require lab testing that's beyond what I can do here.
Yeah, we don't exactly have the means to destroy it ourselves.
Yeah.
Alright. Huh. It's your call, Irene says. I think they're just going to tell you to neutralize in situ. That's what they usually say.
All it is.
We could just call them right now to see what they're gonna say before we do all this rigmarole.
You could do that.
Okay.
That is the thing you can do, said the handler.
Okay.
Alright.
I'm gonna
Okay.
pull out my phone
Oh, yeah.
and call Lisa.
Alright. Yeah, there will in fact be a reply on the other end, even though it's late. Agent Alphonse, you'll hear the roboticness of the voice. It takes 2 or 3 signals to get through before someone picks up on the other hand. You hear a click, and you hear the voice of Agent Alphonse.
Hey, Alphonse, this is Zyra. So we found what's wrong on the mountain, but we can't kill it. So we've tried fire, we've tried fans, we've tried shooting it, we've tried dismemberment, but we can't kill it. Is there any possibility that we could, like, send it to a lab? Because we used the protomatter detector and it turned blue. And blue wasn't exactly covered in the results handbook. So
There's a long silence. You have found proof that... Have you found proof of what the creature is? Is this creature... Have you consulted with Agent Irene?
yes, I suspect it's protomatter puppeting a body. It could be that something placed the protomatter in the body, but right now we have a body that's being puppeted by protomatter that we can't kill. So the whole neutralization thing is off the table right now, and we're looking to have it back on the table.
That's a cement mineral plan.
All right, if we encase it in cement, could you come pick up the cement block?
We'll make arrangements somehow.
Okay, thank you.
You have found proof that the creature on Owlshead is a proto-matter creature.
Yep,
Yes?
we sprayed it with the detector solution and it turned blue.
So it is in fact not the creature that decimated Cell I. Very good. You've done well.
Yay. I'll hang up now.
Before you hang up, you've tried fire. Have you tried an improvised explosive device?
I have one of those.
What? I mean, we tried a very hot fire. That counts. But we could...
Try an IED.
Okay, we'll get back to you if the IED doesn't work.
Cool. I'm already got the barrel. So,
Okay.
All
I
right.
guess we
Who
just
has
get
the
it in-
demolitions?
Me?
Who has the demolition
I have 3
skill?
bombs. I have the bombs.
You.
I also have the skill. I have become Talbot's
My successor.
prepare the body for the barrel and leave the specialty entirely to you.
I have 3 bombs. Can't use one of those.
Why do you have 3 bombs?
So me and an old coworker of mine wanted to blow up a pyramid. So we made a couple bombs.
And you have kept them this whole time?
Yep.
Got it. You know, not the weird. Yeah, I'm glad you have them. I'm surprised you got
Keeping a
them on
very
the plane.
It's like keeping a very specific type of wood, just in case you find like a project that fits that type of wood, like
I
that,
get
but
it.
with bombs.
I see.
Morgan, let's have a demolition check, shall we?
Okie dokie. Nope.
Okay, let's see now. How does that fail? I'm thinking about the effect here on... That's going to be one of your improvised explosive devices is going to be gone. Maybe because it's an improvised explosive device, it has
All of them.
deteriorated chemically over time and no longer now is inert, and you can't get it to detonate. It might still detonate at any point in time, but you can't control the detonation. The good news is it doesn't blow up in your face. The bad news is it doesn't blow up underneath a pile of Cooter pieces either.
Easy. Just put a second IED in there, and that one blows up with the next one.
So roll another
Three.
demolitions roll. You
Oh.
have another
I'm
opportunity
so glad
here.
I made. I have 3. Nope. That
Nope.
one's no good either.
Wow. Morgan is learning more about demolitions as it goes.
Well, I have the 3rd one.
Yeah, you do.
Do I roll again?
Absolutely.
I believe in you. You can do this.
Just
Da, da,
RNG
da, da.
should work in your favor because just
Come on.
50-50
It's not
chance.
going to.
Oh,
No!
oh no.
Oh,
no.
man.
No!
Yeah. I did.
Oh,
Morrigan. Okay then. Morrigan does not have any armor. Morrigan,
Hmm.
why don't you go into your character sheet and you click on equipment and you click on the lethality, damage lethality of the IED that you have created. Let's see what you roll.
oh.
You are one lucky Morrigan.
Oh, thank God.
Wild.
First of all, you
Holy
don't
crap.
Oh, thank
get
God.
blown to
Oh my
mist.
god.
Oh my God.
You
Oh.
don't get blown to mist, so that's a good thing, right?
Yeah. But
Hmm.
also, all of my
But you
HP
do
gone.
take 7 points of damage when
I
the
have
thing
7
goes off
HP.
before you have a chance to apply it correctly. Which dumps you immediately to a 0, doesn't it?
Oh no. I'm dead. Oh, I'm
Not
dead.
yet.
I'm gonna die.
You're very unconscious. So what you guys are seeing
Please help
here,
me.
BAM! Morrigan flies away from the explosion, is just landing, face looking up into the sky, smoke everywhere. Because it's a fumble, this happened before she could get to the pile of Cooter parts. And yeah, Blair,
Yep. First aid.
first aid. Can you save her before the time goes out?
Oh, thank God.
Oh thank god.
Oh hell yeah.
Oh.
You could, apparently.
Legendary.
Oh thank God.
Don't worry, I'm throwing this in the hospital.
Yeah.
We already needed a hospital before this. I was at half HP.
Yeah, and then you blew yourself up. Okay, let's see. Do
Man, you
a
really are
friend
Talbot's successor.
suffers permanent harm or gains a disorder. A bond suffers Does anyone have a bond to Morgan? Let's see.
I do.
I was gonna say not officially, but Morgan's my best friend so far.
Yeah, we don't know that Morgan has suffered permanent harm yet, though. So, we'll find out. Wait, is this suffering violence to do ambush break? No, it's not. It's helplessness, obviously. Nearly get a bond hurt or killed. You didn't. Okay. Who
Well, I
doesn't
almost
have
myself hurt
Fallas?
it,
You don't have adapted to helplessness yet. So please roll a sanity check for me. And Gwen, I want you to roll a sanity check too. Please.
Pretty good.
It was so close to being a 100.
It was, but it wasn't.
I was like, oh no.
Not adapted to violence. I sure do not care about violence.
No, this is helplessness.
Oh, okay.
Which Blair is
You don't know me
adapted
that well.
to. Yeah, whatever. I've seen worse. Have you though? So yeah, Blair, Morgan, BAM! And she just falls down. There's shrapnel all over her face, her body, the clothes are ripped. It's just a bad situation. She needs first aid immediately, which of course you are very much able to provide, aren't you? And that means that she's going to heal some. She's going to heal. What to do? We say stabilize, roll a d4.
Okay. Hey.
Good for you.
Not bad.
I think she might actually wake up from this first aid check because you rolled that well. But you're gonna be so woozy. So woozy, Morgan. Also, you, Morgan, have now suffered violence to the point of hitting 2 HP or fewer. But you're adapted to violence. You just got adapted to violence earlier this night. So that's not a sand check
Correct.
at all for you. You automatically succeed. You don't lose
Ow.
any sanity for that. You just lie there and go. Feel free to describe how it feels like lying there and hurting this much.
Like I got run over by multiple cars.
Yeah, everything went black there for a moment. I would like Morgan to roll a constitution check, please.
Pretty good.
Good
at
for you. You do not suffer permanent injury.
Hooray. Yeah, I'm really good at Constitution.
You are. So, yeah, here we are out in the forest. You have burned all 3 IEDs and
need to
not
make more
succeeded
bombs.
to blow up the Cooter pile. You only managed to blow up yourself somehow.
Maybe we
Wow.
should just call ACEL and tell him it didn't work.
Oh, the IEDs were faulty. And I had them.
No, I'm not saying I'm not saying it's your fault. I'm just saying they didn't work.
But yeah. Which means we need to make more bombs.
No, I think you're good on bombs right now, Morgan. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
no more
level
bombs.
with. I'm gonna level with you. Seeing you almost die was traumatizing. So let's not do that again for another 12 hours, please.
If you
Man.
keep your IED, will it blow?
I would have thought it was here. You're just better than this. Better at this than I am.
Is that the thing, or is it in the middle?
Better at this than I am.
Is that the thing, or is it in the middle? Is that the thing, or is it in the middle?
What? I guess so.
So what's the next solution? Irene is just going to be like, okay, so we're just going to take this to ACEL and ship it off because that's where we are now. I think we've experimented enough with explosives for one night, haven't we?
Yeah, just mix the concrete, seal the barrel, send it off.
Yeah.
Oh, shouldn't we put the body parts in separate barrels?
Yeah, we can do that too.
Probably.
And start of one barrel.
I mean, we could probably put like the feet and the head in the same barrel, because I mean, they're not really going to connect, and if they do, it's just
What
going to
if
be
the feet
funny.
and the head connect? It's just gonna look like a Furby.
And
It's gonna
so
look
it
like a
was
Furby.
that Z-Cell, it's going to take several hours, obviously. I have a feeling that I didn't think you would be able to finish this up in a single weekend. It's Delta Green, and sometimes you can do things in a Delta Green on the weekend and your regular FBI job on the weekdays. You might have to call in sick for Monday, because I don't think you're going to be back at your desk by 8 o'clock tomorrow, wherever you came
I
from.
need a hospital.
So-
Yeah, no.
But be that as it may, you will finish up a night on Owlshead Mountain by putting Cooter pieces in different parts of concrete chunks. Organize with ACEL to drop it off at a dead drop in a green box. And this is probably going to happen like during the next day. And they will take it from there, apparently. That's the plan, isn't it?
Yeah.
And so ends a night on Owlshead Mountain. You have all survived. Barely. Morgan is... There is a reason Morgan is calling in sick, isn't there?
I need a hospital.
You do need a hospital. Very much. Blair needs some time too, because
Yeah.
you took some... You got hurt as well.
Yeah, it was during the tree fall.
Yeah. You can always blame it on I was hiking and I took a bad fall, which is not a lie. Like, I was hit by a tree while hiking. This is completely true.
Yeah, you don't have to specify that you weren't the one that fell.
Accidents happen. You can be hit by a tree that falls over in the forest. It's not impossible. It's a hazard of hiking. It's completely true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nobody like making sure the trees aren't turning into widowmakers.
Something like that.
They're just out there.
Yeah, exactly. We had a freak accident during a storm just recently in BC with a poor woman getting hit by a falling tree, or a tree branch, as it were. She died. This is the thing that happens with trees and people and high winds, though there weren't you don't have to tell about the lack of weather conducive to bringing trees down. Obviously, you can leave that bit out. I don't think this is definitely going to be the last of Irene for a while. And it's also going to be the last of each other for a while. And old Tom, and who knows what else. Is Owlshead Mountain and this area now free from the unnatural?
Nah, because something put that in him. That's probably what the lobotomy scars were. Probably still up there. It
Possibly.
took his brain and put it back.
Only two of us now have our brains removed and put back.
Yep.
Didn't Tristan?
Two of you are unable
No,
to.
he wasn't there for.
Oh, he wasn't there.
Tristan-
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he
We are
joined
the
later.
ones who had our
Right.
brains exposed.
So, if anyone were ever to find out that Morgan and Blair have a very fine scar around your skull that can only be detected by the then the rest of your cell would discover that you're probably compromised, and we'll see how they would react to that. But that we won't find out today, will we?
Yeah, I think Tristan knows about it, because I'm pretty sure Blair told him, but that was
Oh,
it.
he did. You're right. You did. This is absolutely right. The good news is, this group is going to have a little while to rest up. We'll do one downtime thing.
I need to hang out with the girlfriend and my friend, and also probably not die.
All of
Yeah.
that is very much encouraged. But you're not going to die, because you're going to get into a hospital and you're going to recover, because
Yeah,
that's all good.
I'm only dead on the inside. Don't worry about it.
Exactly. So I'm going to give you guys a week to think about what kind of downtime action you want to take. But you'll only get one, because the next op will come at you fast enough. So it's only a matter of months before Z-Cell is once again called upon to protect and serve, be the thin green line, in the operation called Dead Letter. Which I'm
Oh,
sure
no.
is completely fine and no problems at all. So I want to thank our audience for tuning in. If they know what Dead Letter is, don't tell anyone.
Please do.
No, absolutely don't.
Save us.
And we'll raid someone. That's what we're going to do because it's fun. There we go. These guys also plays Delta Green on the regular, but right now they're playing Forbidden Lands for some reason. Which is a good reason, because Forbidden Lands is an awesome game. Third Floor Wars. Here we go. The Forbidden Stream. That's what they call it. So, as always, tune in to ACell by following, subscribing, bell icons, and all the other things that you do on Twitch and YouTubes and so on. And that way you will always be in the loop, and ACell will always be able to reach you, because once you join Delta Green, you can never leave it. Except if you die. Then you leave Delta Green. Or do you? Can they resurrect you and keep you on the front lines forever? Huh?
I haven't heard anything from Talbot, so I'm going to assume that's a no.
Maybe she was just assigned to a different cell. You don't know.
Hope that cell was a frat cell.
Though officially, Delta Green's line on all things unnatural is destroy, eliminate, burn, neutralize, confine, contain. Never try to use your enemy's tools, because that will only lead to ruin. How many Delta Green agents actually listen to that? Like, how often is that rule broken, do we think?
The fact that the organization's still running means very often.
Yeah.
Very often. Who knows? Maybe. Possibly. Alright, everybody. See you in a week. Thanks for tuning in.